The Girl Who Spoke to Dragons. Long ago, beyond the silver mountains and deep green forests, there was a magical kingdom called Eldoria. The kingdom was famous for its crystal rivers, shining castles, and powerful dragons that lived high above the clouds. For hundreds of years, humans and dragons had lived peacefully together. But over time, the friendship disappeared. The dragons left the kingdom, and nobody knew why. Many people believed dragons had become dangerous, while others believed they were only legends from the past. In a small village near the edge of the forest lived a young woman named Alara. She was 19 years old and worked in her father's bakery. Alara was kind, curious, and loved stories more than anything else. Every evening, she sat by the fireplace and listened to her grandmother tell old tales about dragons, magic, and forgotten kingdoms. Unlike most people, Alara believed the stories were true. She dreamed of seeing a dragon one day. Most villagers laughed at her dreams. "Dragons are gone," they would say. "They haven't been seen for generations." But Alara never stopped believing. One morning, while collecting berries in the forest, Alara heard a strange sound. It was soft at first, almost like a cry. Following the noise, she walked deeper among the trees until she reached a hidden clearing. There, lying beside a large rock, was a young silver dragon. Its wing was injured and it looked frightened. Alara's heart raced. She had finally found a dragon. The creature tried to move away but winced in pain. Alara slowly approached. "Don't be afraid," she whispered. To her surprise, the dragon stopped struggling. For a moment, they simply stared at each other. Then something impossible happened. A voice appeared inside Alara's mind. "You can hear me?" the dragon asked. Alara gasped. "Did you just speak?" "Not exactly," the dragon replied. "I am speaking through magic." Alara could hardly believe it. The dragon introduced himself as Aaron. He explained that dragons could communicate through thoughts with very rare humans. Nobody had possessed this gift for hundreds of years. Alara carefully treated Aaron's injured wing and visited him every day while he recovered. As the weeks passed, their friendship grew stronger. Aaron taught her about dragon history, hidden magic, and ancient secrets. In return, Alara shared stories about village life and human traditions. One evening, while watching the sunset from a hill, Aaron told her something surprising. "The dragons did not leave because they hated humans," he said. "We left because of a prophecy." Alara listened carefully. Aaron explained that long ago, a prophecy warned of a great darkness that would one day threaten both humans and dragons. The only hope would come from a person who could speak to dragons. Alara laughed nervously. "That sounds important." Aaron looked serious. "It is." Before she could ask more questions, the ground suddenly trembled. Dark clouds appeared over the mountains. A strange black light flashed across the sky. Aaron stared toward the horizon. "It's beginning," he said quietly. In the days that followed, strange events occurred throughout the kingdom. Crops failed. Rivers darkened. Animals disappeared from the forests. Fear spread among the people. Soon news arrived that a powerful sorcerer called Malgor had returned after centuries of imprisonment. He wanted to control both humans and dragons using dark magic. The king called for heroes from across the kingdom. Knights, wizards, and warriors answered the call. Yet none of them knew how to stop Malgor. One night, Aaron arrived at Alara's window. "We must go to the Crystal Temple," he said. "There is something you need to learn." Without hesitation, Alara agreed. Together, they began a dangerous journey across mountains, forests, and rivers. Along the way, they faced magical creatures, hidden traps, and powerful storms. Yet the greatest challenge was not the danger. It was the growing feelings between them. The more time they spent together, the closer they became. Elara admired Aaron's bravery, wisdom, and kindness. Aaron admired Elara's courage and compassion. However, both knew their friendship was unusual. She was human. He was a dragon. Neither knew what their future could possibly look like. After many days of travel, they finally reached the Crystal Temple. Inside stood an ancient mirror made entirely of silver crystal. As Elara approached, the mirror began to glow. Suddenly, she saw images from the past. She saw dragons and humans living together. She saw the prophecy, and she saw herself standing beside Aaron. Then a voice echoed through the temple. Only the bond between the dragon, speaker, and the silver dragon can defeat the darkness. Elara turned toward Aaron. Neither spoke. Deep inside, they both understood what the prophecy meant. Their connection was more important than either of them had realized. Before they could discuss it further, Malgor's soldiers attacked the temple. A fierce battle followed. Aaron fought bravely while Elara used the magical abilities she was only beginning to understand. Together they escaped and returned to the kingdom. The final battle took place outside the capital city. Thousands of people gathered behind the castle walls as dark clouds filled the sky. Malgor stood at the center of a massive army. Fear spread through the crowd. Then a silver dragon appeared above the battlefield. Aaron soared through the clouds while Elara rode on his back. The sight gave hope to everyone below. As the battle began, Elara and Aaron combined their magic. A brilliant silver light filled the sky. The bond between them became stronger than ever. Together, they created a powerful force that shattered Malgor's dark magic. The sorcerer screamed as the darkness disappeared around him. Moments later, the battle was over. The kingdom was safe. People cheered as dragons returned to the skies for the first time in centuries. Peace had finally returned. Yet for Elara and Aaron, one difficult question remained. What would happen now? A few days later, Aaron invited Elara to a mountain overlooking the kingdom. The sunset painted the sky in shades of gold and pink. The dragons are returning to the northern lands, Aaron said quietly. Elara felt her heart sink. So this is goodbye. Aaron looked at her for a long moment. Then he smiled. A bright silver light surrounded him. Elara stepped back in shock. Slowly, the dragon transformed into a young man with silver eyes and silver hair. Ancient dragon magic, Aaron explained. I can only use it because of the bond we share. Elara could hardly believe what she was seeing. Aaron laughed softly. I should have shown you sooner. Tears filled Elara's eyes as she smiled. Suddenly, the future seemed full of possibilities. Aaron gently took her hand. The prophecy brought us together, he said. But what happens next is our choice. Elara smiled. Then let's choose our own story. As the sun disappeared, behind the mountains, they stood together overlooking the kingdom they had saved. The people would remember them as heroes. Songs would be written about their adventures. But for Elara, the greatest treasure was not the magic, the dragons, or the prophecy. It was finding someone who understood her completely. And so began the greatest chapter of their story, not as a dragon speaker and a silver dragon, but as two hearts that had found each other in a world filled with magic.